Thanks for staying with us. So one of the things we like to do on Wednesdays is how we can learn how to economically empower ourselves, encourage women, build businesses and sustainable businesses to help us. So today on the show, joining us is a wealth creation and financial sustainability. He's a multifaceted professional with a passion for creating positive change. He's a forward-thinking individual with a deep passion to see people live the best lives possible and see organizations and establishments and nations be better. So with us now is a teacher, speaker, and author. Welcome with us, Mr. Owolabi Ramon, to the show. Welcome to the show, sir.
Welcome to the show.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
So,
I'm happy to be here.
Yeah, everybody wants to be rich. Everybody wants to have money. And the first question is that how? How do we make money out of nothing? How do you even start?
Okay.
Yeah.
First and foremost, what I'm about to say here might sound like what people call aspire to perspire. You know, they say they give it that name because they believe that some of those things that they teach are not practicable. But what I'm going to say here are things that I practice myself that gave me results. So I'm not teaching theories, I'm teaching practical. So now, to make money, first and foremost, one thing is to make money. Another thing is to be rich. People think that it is because you have money that you are rich. But it is not true. It is because you are rich that you have money. If someone that is not rich come in contact with money, it's just a matter of time. They will go their separate ways. So in the journey, the first thing is for you to be rich. You don't have rich. You are rich. It is when you are rich, the money comes with being rich. You understand what I'm saying? So I don't know if that makes
So from
any
what you're
sense.
saying, is being rich a state of mind? Is it a mindset shift that now begins to transform the way you view money, your activities around money? Can you expatiate further on what you say about being rich, or then money comes?
Being rich is about who you are. Being rich is about, and there's a story in the Bible that would probably explain what I'm trying to say. You know, there's this man that was going on a journey. He gave money to people to invest for him before he gets back. So when he gave one 5 talent, according to the Bible, he gave one 2, he gave one 1. The one that got 5 invested the money, made a lot of profit from it. The one that got 2 also did something with it. But the one that got 1 went to hide the money that was given to him. And then when the owner of the money came, he said, the ones that did not have, he gave that one that he added it to the one that had. And he said, those that has will have more. And the one that don't have, the little that they have will be given to those ones that have.
Yeah, we know what the Bible says.
Well, how can how can we create wealth? How can wealth create, or the wealth journey? How does this even start? How does the person start it? How would you say?
Okay,
the first thing to do about creating wealth, being on the journey to being wealthy, is to sit down and desire it. Okay, it's like moving from point A to point Z. I want to be wealthy.
Okay.
Now, number 1. Number 2 is the fact that you become the person, in the sense that you have to first start from the mind. People always assume that the rich always get richer because the rich always have a way of giving inheritance to the people coming after them. But the best thing somebody that comes from a wealthy background gets from his family is not money. It's that abundance mindset that we have this. So if a child or somebody comes in contact with money without having that mindset of abundance, without being that person that is wealthy, it's a matter of time before the person loses the money. So that's what I'm talking about.
Go ahead, Sokwe.
So this is my topic, is my department. And I feel that a lot of Nigerians need to hear a lot about mindset and how to approach life, and how you see things affect what you see, or and the perspective that needs to change. And the conversation we seem to be having seem to still be in that realm of it's still very vague to people right now, the way you're saying it. You need to help us to break it down in a way that people can they can
I'll
relate
tell
it.
you my
Maybe use
story.
it.
Okay, please tell us your story. Yeah, let's start with it.
I'll tell-
Because
I'll
people
tell-
are watching. How much money does this man have? He doesn't look like Dangote right now.
I'll
Let
tell
us
you
see
my.
what is he talking about?
I'll tell you my story. Now, I come from a very, very poor background. So I'm number 6 of 7 children, and all of us are living in one room where the cough face might face you. So now, let me also break it down for you to understand how bad it was. So, we are 7. I was number 6. So going up, our dinner every night was eba, whether you like it or not. So what usually used to change was the soup. So it depended on the pocket of my dad. So now they will not give us one big fish for the 6 of us to share. You know that the first one will be the one to share it. So it will still be the first one to pick. So by the time we wanted to divide, we just divide the fridge into 2. Bam. So the remaining half to the rest of us.
The 5 of you.
And I was the 6th. By the time it was getting to my turn, it would be remnant. I was a kid, but I didn't like it. I would just join to my younger brother, go and eat it. I would just storm out and go and find something else to eat because I was not comfortable with it. Now, that's number one. So then another thing was that as I was growing, while some people believed that it was their destiny to be like that, some people believed that it was fate, they were having pity on themselves, not me. What I was doing was that I was trying to get inspirations. I used to hawk plantain. So now, when people used to hawk plantain to other sides, I chose to hawk plantain to the side where the rich were because I was getting inspiration. These people did not have 2 heads. These people did not have 3 heads. How would I be able to do it legally without having to engage in crime? So that is now, if you look at the 7 of us, you could see that this particular person is different from the rest in terms of the fact that the way I was seeing, I was allowing the poverty to motivate me. I was not dwelling in self-pity or wallowing in the fact that, oh, is it me? Oh, God, why? No. I was motivated by the poverty. I was ready to do something about it. I was ready to move forward about it. I was getting information to the point that before I even entered university, I already knew how I wanted my life to be.
Yeah, you wanted better.
Yes.
You had a mental
What did you now do?
So now when I was at the university, when I was in year 3, I was beginning to prepare for my life after school. So I knew, I studied physiology as my first degree. So I knew that getting a job with physiology might be difficult. So as at year 3, I was reading the medical courses just for exam purposes. I was getting books, Think and Go Rich, Who Moved My Cheese, all these kind of motivational books. I was reading them. I was beginning to envision myself. I knew I was going to be successful. So I decided to say, okay, from after school, this is what I was going to do, this is what I was going to do. I was beginning to plan my life in a particular direction, while many other people are feeling like after school, we just dust our certificates and go and look for a job. So I was living by design. I was not living by what the economy was saying or what the society was saying. Everything I was doing was deliberate. So that is why I said, so when people say they want to make money or they want to be rich,
You have to be deliberate.
you have to be deliberate. And let me say this, my focus was not on being wealthy. My focus on being influential. My focus was on goals. How much impact do I want to have on the society by so age, So when people chase money, most of the time they do the wrong things. But when you choose impact, you chase after goals, there are some things that happen naturally without you chasing after them. Money comes to you if you are wealthy. Money comes to you if you are meeting your goals. That is why Richard Branson says that if you are in business just for the purpose of making money, you are better off not doing anything.
But you know, making money can be stressful. How can I make money without stress? You know, let me not say I'm doing MMA, but everybody just like so small work, plenty money kind of mentality. Can you work?
Small work, plenty money can actually put people in trouble sometimes. Let me give you an instance. You know that all these sporting bets stuff are just coming up regularly now.
Yeah,
it is because people are trying to get money without stress. And eventually they get stressed because betting gives you just 3 chances of winning. And it's just a matter of also the rich getting richer. Because if I'm rich, I have a sporting bet company and the poor, with this money they have, they put in my platform to make money. I'm getting their money. I'm getting richer. So to make money sometimes does not require stress. But in the real sense of it, you have to be ready to give something for it.
Mr. Ramon, let me ask you, because I know that one of the reasons why you're here is for Nigerians to watch and see that a regular person who had a very humble background can come from that and inspire themselves and make a better life for themselves. And it's important because we also, as a show, that we try to speak to all Nigerians of all levels. So I'd like you to answer the question as regards, did you need money to start making wealth? Because people are saying, where do I even get the money to start? That's always the question. I'm a poor person. I don't even know who's going to sponsor me, who's going to help me, who's going to believe in me. I have nothing. So how did you start?
So that is exactly, now, even that question itself, that how do I get wealth without money? I'm sorry if what I'm saying is not common, but you don't need money for a start to become wealthy. What you need for a start, number one, is your mindset. Number two, there is a particular statement that guides my life, and I will tell you. And that statement is very powerful. It's one of my secrets. It's in the Bible, but I will just paraphrase. It said, the goal is not just to get by. We want to live well. But our foremost effort should be to help others live well. With that as a base to work from, common sense will guide us through the rest of the way. So now we want to make wealth, we want to have money. But our foremost effort should be to add value.
To others.
So if you don't have value to offer, I mean, you should not even be talking about making money in the first place. You should not even be talking about being wealthy in the first place. The first job a human being has, if you want to make money, is what value do I have to give?
Okay.
So now, the starting point is develop values.
Within yourself. That's why we go to school to go and do, but maybe people don't go to, they don't get it. I have a question.
Okay.
And I want to ask this question because I'm sure that being that you have lived a life that inspires and adds values to others, it means that you have engaged many people and you've seen the mistakes in how they are thinking or the pitfalls that they are not aware of. Can you help us address some of the mindsets the weak mindsets you've seen that seem to have trapped many people into poverty?
Okay, number one is the fact that many people believe that the fact that they were born a certain way make it so difficult for them or make it almost impossible for them to become wealthy. Now, when people see people that are born with silver spoon, they look at them with envy, saying that, I wish I was born by the Adele case, I wish I was born by this, because they feel paralyzed in their mind that, because I was born this way, I cannot make it again. This is one of the things that people need to work on. Though if you are born from if you come from a wealthy background, it is true. You're not going to start from level 0. But who says that someone that starts from level 0 can also not get there? So that is what I'm saying. So another mindset people always have is they believe that they need to have connection. You have connection, they give you a good job, they give you a contract, and all those stuff. The reason I smiled because before I got to this level, so there was time I used to think that if I had 100 million naira, I was made. If I could get my 100 million naira. But now, 1 billion naira seems too small to me. The closer you get to all these figures you call, the more you realize that they don't really make much. What makes you rich or wealthy in the long run is a constant life of giving value, not about the money.
Is financial freedom possible? Is it
in this Nigeria?
It's possible. Let me give you an instance. It's possible. But again, you have to be given to setting goals, financial goals, and adding value. I'll give you 2 different contrasts of it. Now, let me give you an instance. There was somebody I knew. For 3 years, I was working with him. He made nothing less than 500 million naira. 500 million naira. So,
selling what?
Executing contracts.
Oh, okay.
So at the end of the 3rd year, I realized I did not have a dime in his account. So when I tried to remind this person that, how come he's an elderly person, how come you are like this? He said, no, I have not made much. That the money I was calling was more than what I thought. And I brought out pen and paper.
To help him calculate.
And I calculated 500 million naira. Wow. Boom.
Just like gone.
In that same space, all I made was 25 million. But that 25 million naira is doing something, even up to now. In finance people will tell you that there is an actual value of money, there is a real value of money. The actual value of money is nominal value. 1 million naira last year is 1 million naira this year. But the real value, as at last year, 1 million naira will get me 2 tons of iron. Now, 1 million naira can barely get me 1 ton of iron. That is the real value. The same thing with human beings. When you give 10 million naira to someone who in his making is poor.
All right. So I would just like to piggyback on what you've just said, taking into consideration the current harsh realities in our country today. If we really had to break it down nicely, what are some viable options to wealth creation? If you could mention specific business ideas, maybe areas that have been neglected, not many people are looking at, taking our country into cognizance and the way things are, the harsh economic realities, what are viable options to really making money if you had to break it down really nicely?
I like the way you put it later. Viable options of making money, because making money does not mean you are going to be wealthy. So the viable options of making money these days, number one is tech. Tech, because one of the things that smart people do, or people that are wealthy, that are living life of adding value, meeting goals, is that they don't wait for things to happen. They make things happen, and they actually have foresight to know where the world is going. So instead of people to, okay, what is happening yesterday, you look at what is going to happen in the next few years. So in the next few years, you know, tech is becoming more and more and more important now. So if you can look at the aspect of tech, but for the ones that you can do immediately, that you don't have to go and learn. For people, they believe that they are so old that, oh, the time I'll be using to learn, I need to be making money because my children, I need to feed these people. One of the things you can do is, what are the things that people use on a daily basis that you can engage in? Sometimes you feel you need capital to do those things, but sometimes you don't need capital. Sometimes what you need is to get into the field, relate with those in the field, and again, it will take me back to what I said earlier. You want to live well. Your foremost effort should be to help others live well. And I'll use myself as an example. I managed to build a house. I use the word manage because after I moved into that house in 2019, I had just 5,000 naira left. So in my hand. So, yeah, so for some people, you feel like, thank God, even if I'm drinking Gary in this house, I'm okay. But me, I was not ready for that. Because for me, the house was not my goal. My goal was to live a life of value. So now, what I did was this. I wanted to, so when COVID was coming, I was scared. My wife was not used to doing anything in the house. I was always the one doing everything. So, and to not start now. So what I did was, what would I do next? So I saw a land next to my house that had the same, almost the same size with the one I built on. So what I did, I negotiated for the land. I did calculation on how much I would use to build on the land. So I saw that if I built the prototype of my house on this land, I was going to save 10 million naira. So I sold the house while I was living inside. So I told them to give me 3 months. In 3 months, I had already bought this particular land. I'd already built. I had enough money to take care of my family, and then I moved. Now, I was not, after I finished the house, I still had like, say, 15 million in my account. I was not comfortable because that was not my goal. I told you, my goal is not about having money, living well. I want to get by. But my goal is more than getting by. My goal is about being successful. So when I now saw another land beside that same one, it was a bigger one. It could take like 6 duplexes. It was a 300 million naira project that, yes. And I did not have more than 60 million naira. So what did I do? I did not say because I did not have this money, oh, I cannot do it. So what I did was, I used the one I had to deposit for the land. So the next thing I did was, who are the people that will need help with this thing that I have? For example, there are couples, there are families that want to live in that same estate, but the money they had will not be enough for them to buy property in that estate. I needed money to build this project. They needed the property that they could buy, that they didn't have to beg the bank. So what I did was, okay, you know what? This property was up to be 60 million naira when I'm done, but I'm still constructing. Pay 40 million. Hey!
You sold some units off plan?
Yes. But at that time, particular time, that was my first, I didn't know what they call off plan. I didn't know, I was just, that was what got me into real estate. My idea was to say, okay, let me just source for fun. So when I gave the first person I gave that offer to, thought, this is crazy. This is too cheap. So, but the woman, I don't know, women are intuitive. She just said that she just had this confidence to deal with me. So the second day, they already dropped 25 million from the 40 million. But the husband is a soldier. So he was telling the wife at home, like, are you sure this guy is...
Money is insured. They can find
the husband was like, this guy is young. He cannot be claiming to be doing the kind of project he's doing. Number two, it's too cheap. So by 6 a.m. the following morning, because I was living beside the project, Coco on my gate, the woman, are you sure you are living here? Yes, I am living here.
Just to confirm.
So now,
Due diligence.
after you have already made payment. So what I'm trying to say is, so that actually taught me something. The gap between you getting where you are to getting where you are going is about meeting people along the way.
Unfortunately, I have to wrap up with it, but I think what I've learned from you today is you had the hunger. From day one, you knew that you were not comfortable with status quo, and you wanted to move to the next step. And that, I think, is crucial. And also, it wasn't as if you were well read or you knew all the financial sustainability things to do. You just knew that you had your degree, but you knew that you wanted more than what your degree could offer you. And that hunger is what led you to the various steps you took. And I also like the fact that you're very resourceful. You knew how to use what you have to get what you could. And I think that's an inspiration to a lot of people who I heard you this morning, that you don't have to have everything. Your mindset is crucial in changing your status. Once you start with your mindset, you don't even need financial money. You must also give your service. Build your value.
You have a book,
offer value.
something that you're teaching with.
So I think that is something that we can wrap up with.
Well, I wrote to understand what I'm saying right now because of time, I wrote a book called the Fast Track to Wealth. Okay. Now, the Fast Track to Wealth is just contains my story about how I moved from where I was. And then the Fast Track to Wealth, my 4-year journey to building a billion naira business from scratch.
Fantastic.
Yeah, in 4 years, I built a $1 billion business from scratch. So those are the things that
Wishing you the best.
There.
I mean, we're happy to have you to share your stories on the show. Thank you so much for coming. Let's go on a short break. When we come back, we continue with our show. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.